Hi, Runner Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And making sure that your stories get heard this month are our friends from Magnolia Soap and Bath Company. We love Candy and the girls. We love going in there. Everything in our house, from our laundry detergent to our shampoo to bath wash, all the things is Magnolia Soap and Bath Company, because we believe that not only what you put into your body matters, but also what you put on it. And that's including the laundry detergent and the soaps and all the things. So shout out to Magnolia Soap and Bath Company Mobile. Candy, you do such a great job. They love the running community. We love them. Extraordinary. I love those people. So make sure you stop in. Make sure you tell them thank you. If you don't live locally, you can buy from them online as well. You can also just call them and be like, hey, I want to order. How do I place an order? They would love to hear from you. They do such a great job. The customer service is 10 out of 10. Absolutely love Magnolia Soap and Bath Company. So make sure you check them out. I have to give a special shout out to Scott Thornhill. He's done such a great job, him and Stefan, anytime that I can't make an interview. And in this case, I was supposed to go to Tiger 10K and we had some car trouble. I am convinced that the state of Louisiana may not want the Gilliards there. We'll see how the future holds there. But it was such a crazy thing. We had Jacob scheduled and we couldn't make it. So Scott was so gracious to step in and he did such a great job. I learned so much about Jacob. Guys, his story is incredible, that he had watched several years with his family, this triathlon that went by his house, and for him to have that initiative to say, I want to do that one year. That's how his run story started. And now he's completing ultras. Absolutely bonkers to me, and it's absolutely incredible. And having done sprint triathlons, there's nothing easy about it. And I do them because I don't want to get bored. You will not see me do a long distance triathlon, but it's hard. It's hard mentally to be like, okay, now I gotta get this next thing. So the fact that Jacob got hooked right after is incredible. And again, congratulations. He just graduated from LSU, so roll tide. Pretty excited about all of that. And for Jacob, guys, he puts in the time when he's not in class, he's working out, he's running. You guys are gonna love his advice, which is don't compare yourself. And that's what I love about runners like Jacob, is that you only see where he is now, not where he's been. And unless you've been with him every step of the way, which most of us haven't. So to see somebody do something extraordinary like Bethany or Rachel or Megan or all the other guys that have been on the podcast, I just did Cocodona 250. It's easy for us to be like, wow, I can't believe they did that. But they've put in all the work and they've spent years getting to where they are. And so never doubt yourself. And I love that. That is something that Jacob talks about, is you make it what you want it. And your journey is not the same as someone else's. And if we truly believe your race, your pace, you run it your way, that's what Run Your Story is all about, is that you find your story and you run it. And you can only run it your way. So great advice, Jacob. Great story. Scott and Jacob, y'all did absolutely amazing. And I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to share this story with you guys. With that being said, lace up those running shoes, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Jacob and his run story.
All right, Jacob, thank you for sitting down with me. It's good to see you again. Fresh Junkie Ambassador, my friend, I know a little bit about you. I know you're an accomplished ultramarathon runner, but tell me, how did we get here? What is your run story?
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on here. So yeah, run story. I really didn't start running until later in my teen years. I was actually really sedentary and overweight until I was like 16 or so. And then the local triathlon, Cajun Man Triathlon, the bike portion of that goes past my parents' house. And we would always go out there and watch them every year. And then finally, 2016, I just was like, hey, I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of sitting around and not really doing anything. Next year, I want to train up and I want to do that race. So yeah, I started running, I started swimming, biking, all that stuff. Dropped a ton of weight. And then that next year came around and I held true to my word. I went out there and I did it. So my very first race was actually a little sprint triathlon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a half-mile swim, 20-mile bike, and a 5K run. The first race I ever did. So I just jumped straight into the deep end.
Yeah, you cannonballed right into the deep end. Most people start with the 1 mile fun run and the 5K and take their steps from there, and you just went for it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw what they did. You know what? I'm just gonna do that. And then from there, I went straight to half marathon and then marathon. And then finally after that, I went back and did my first just 5K, just with air quotes, 5K then. And then kind of just, I was addicted at that point to running. And I'm like, all right, let's see how far I can go. And then, so from there, I did a 50K and then did a few other races here and there. Just gradually worked my way up and did my first 100-miler last year, and then kind of that's where I'm at right now.
And you did the Loop Garoo 100, correct?
Correct.
That's one that I've got my eye on. So how was that? What was that experience like?
Overall, great race. Definitely, it's probably one of my favorite races out there. I mean, the community is great. Every single aid station's just a party.
Awesome.
The volunteers are all great. The loops are long enough that it doesn't really feel like you're just running the same loop over and over. It's a 20-mile loop. So you get some time out there. Yeah, I definitely recommend doing it. I mean, this is the last year for the Garoo itself, but there's word that there's going to be another race starting up out there. So hopefully those trails will still be good use.
Well, you have a ton of experience under your belt. What are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way that you pass on to others?
So I guess two sides of the same coin. Never stop moving forward. And even if it's going slow, even if it's just dragging along, just keep moving forward. But also at the same time, know when it's time to stop. Now, I've had a few races that I've had to DNF from just because it wasn't the day for it. And whether it's injuries or I was going too slow and I missed a cutoff, like that's just how it goes. But at the same time, until it reaches that point, just keep moving forward, keep making that progress. And that applies to every aspect of life. And things take time. So you just got to keep moving forward. Time passes anyway. Might as well keep moving forward.
That's very true. You talked about the Loop Garoo. Do you have a favorite race, and why would that be?
I'd have to say favorite race is probably actually the one I just did a few weeks ago. I did a Behind the Rocks 50-miler out in Moab, Utah. It was absolutely gorgeous out there. Definitely some of the best views I've ever had. You know, we were running through some of the high desert. You had the LaSalle Mountains out in the distance. You're running past canyons and gorges. You got scrambled down into a canyon to get to one of the aid stations. And it was beautiful out there. And the community was great too. I got to camp out at the start line for about 3 days beforehand.
Oh, that's awesome.
People. Oh, see, that's probably my favorite one right now. It was great.
Okay, well, I know because I'm also an ultramarathon runner. I know that the pre-race routine can be a little different from a 5K to a 100-miler, but kind of both worlds. Can you give me what your pre-race routine would look like?
Yeah, sure. So night before, usually lay out everything, make sure I have whatever I need for the next day. And then morning of, usually try to eat breakfast, big bowl of oatmeal, hour and a half beforehand. Let's give that some time to settle. And then depending on the distance that I'm running, I'll do a couple of miles of warm up, 1 to 2 miles. And then honestly, my warm up routine and my pre-race routine is pretty bare bones. I don't stretch nearly as much as I should. I'll spend maybe 30 seconds stretching and then I'll go straight to the start line.
Well, sometimes in those ultras, I know stretching is optional. So it's not quite the same as the 10K. So you finish the race. Now what's your post-race routine look like?
Usually just go home, get cleaned up, rot the rest of the day, eat a big old pizza. Really not too much else. I like to soak in an Epsom salt bath post-race usually. That kind of helps relax a good bit. But yeah, not too much outside that for recovery. Yeah, usually if it's for ultras especially, I'll hang out around the finish line for a while, kind of just cheer people on as they come in, kind of just enjoy the environment and the community. So for ultras, I typically hang out a bit and just watch people and congratulate them. But then road races and other stuff, I usually just go home afterwards.
And that support always means a lot. I know you were there at the 50-miler that I ran in February, and it's always nice to see friendly faces and always nice to have people cheering you on. So that's really great that you're able to support the community like that. If you had to choose only one thing to bring with you on a run, what would that one thing be? What's your favorite running item that you cannot leave the house without?
Absolutely, my headphones. I listen to music nonstop. Even when I'm not running, I'm always listening to music or podcasts or other stuff. So I definitely have to say my headphones. I use aftershocks, but really just anything to let me listen to some music and pass the time.
I'm right there with you, man. And I just ran a 23-hour effort in Georgia, the Georgia Death Race. And that was the first time I never used headphones for the entire
No
race.
headphones that entire time.
So what happened, I started and I knew some people, we were chit-chatting along the way. And then I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'll put on some music. and my phone was dying, but my phone charger, my portable pack, it wasn't charging my phone. So my phone died way early, like probably 3, 4 in the afternoon. And I'm like, okay, I'm here. But it was liberating. It was nice to just experience people, nature, birds. And it was a nice break from my usual listening to, like you said, podcasts or music or what have you. Trail and road, what's your favorite pair of shoes?
So trail shoes, I go with the HOKA Speedgoats. That's been my go-to for a while now. I've tried a few different brands, different other styles of shoes, and I've taken my Speedgoats through my 100-miler, multiple 50-milers, like all this stuff, and almost never have foot troubles with them. So I definitely like those. And then road running, I train in Brooks Adrenalines, but then my favorite racing shoe, it's not like a full-on super shoe, but it's a little bit more bouncy than a regular shoe, is the New Balance Super Comp trainers. I really like those. They last me a bit longer. I've been a student for a long time, so I can't really afford to go out and go buy some super shoes for a few $100s, use them for one race and retire. And so I thought that they give me a good bit of life and some good.
So those New Balance Super Comps are up at the top of my list too. I use those very frequently. I love them. They're very cushioned, but kind of springy at the same time.
Yep.
I love them. Okay. During the race, what type of fuel are you going to use to power you through?
All right. So usually I use Tailwind powder in my water. And then up until recently, I was used Goos, like the gels. But then I finally got tired of paying an arm and a leg for gels. So this worked great for my 50-miler a few weeks back. I went out and bought a family-sized box of the snack packs of Gushers. And so every so often, I just pop one of those and a salt tablet. And that took me through pretty much the whole race. And I think I'm sold on using Gushers as fuel now. Because those little packs, it's almost the same amount of calories as a Goo. And you just take a little salt tablet with it and it gives you all the electrolytes. And
I've heard that a lot. The Nerds ropes and Nerds gummies are really popular. It's just, I have a mental block about candy.
Yeah.
But if you look at the nutrition, it's just about the same as the gels and everything else. But like you said, when you supplement the sodium in there, it's a wash. You're pretty much doing the same exact thing. You've been at it for a while. You've done a whole lot of different distances over many different states. If you had to isolate one, what would you say is your favorite running memory?
Definitely finishing my 100-miler. The race director, she's been a family friend for a long time. She's known me since I was really young. And she was waiting for me at the finish line. And as soon as I crossed, I was breaking down crying. I was bent over crying. And she was just telling me, like, this is what it's all about. Just this moment of relief and confidence and proudness of what you've done and what you can do. And that emotional release afterwards is what it's all about. That's definitely my favorite memory that I have.
I think when you run those ultra distances and you cross 50, 75, 100 miles, you experience all the emotions in that block of time. You're going to be happy. You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. You run the gamut. You'll find yourself tearing up for no good reason. It's body's going through all the feels.
Yeah, especially when you're out there by yourself for hours. You just have so much time just to spend in your thoughts and just working through your emotions. It's basically therapy. I mean,
it is.
I would say it's cheaper, but I've seen how much I spend on shoes.
I completely agree. People say that running is a cheap sport. I've never actually taken the time to look at how much all this gear and nutrition costs.
Yeah.
Speaking of nutrition, pre-race and post-race, do you have a designated kind of meal that you stick with, or is it just kind of grab anything I can and stuff my face?
So pre-race, so this isn't even just pre-race, it's just every day I just eat more of it. I eat oatmeal every single day of my life. Okay. So I'll just do a little bit bigger portion of oatmeal and some berries, honey and stuff. And that's my pre-race. And then post-race, it's just whatever I can get my hands on. I remember a few of my races, I'll make a point to stop at Chick-fil-A afterwards. And that's a solid one I love. Or just go get some nice greasy Domino's or just anything like that. Just something that is just absolutely not good for me, but it feels.
Yeah. Well, you said you're not going to leave the house without your headphones. Do you have a set list of music that you listen to? Or is it random? What do you like to listen to while you're running?
It really depends on the day and on the run. So for a lot of my races, I have a 26-hour long playlist that I just have titled 100 miles. And so that's sometimes I'll throw that on, but then other times I'll just throw on random Spotify stations. Like currently I've been listening to a lot of Dexter and the Moon Rocks on Spotify. They have some good stuff. but it varies everything from rock to metal to country to rap, anything you can think of pretty much. I'll throw it on for at least a little bit. Listen to white girl pop music. I'll listen to that. I'll get down to that.
I'm right there with you, man. I just added Fergie into my running playlist.
I don't think I've ever added her there, but I might have to give that a try.
Yeah, go back and listen to her album from, was it 2007-ish? She's got some pretty good bangers on there. Race is over. You're at the house. Muscles are sore. Do you have any recovery tools that you reach for?
So aside from soaking an Epsom salt bath, not really too much. I have a massage gun and I might use that for a couple minutes, but usually I'm just resting, but also combining that with still trying to stay moving. I make it a point to walk a good bit later that day. If it's a shorter run and I finish in the morning, I'll try to walk that afternoon, or I'll at least try to be out there and moving the next day. Because in my experience, that's been the best recovery I have, is just staying moving, even if it's light effort, walking, just something to keep my muscles from getting too sore. And that's always helped me. I typically, even after an ultra, within 2 or 3 days, I'm back to feeling almost completely normal, just because I always try to stay moving.
I like to say active recovery is the best recovery.
Oh, I agree.
Do you cross train? Are you swimming? Are you on the bike? Are you on the elliptical?
So I do a little bit of cycling. I'll go out and I'll do a 20, 30 mile ride once or twice a month, maybe. But I spend a lot of time at the gym as well. I go lift weights probably 4 or 5 times a week. And I think that kind of what also helps with my recovery a little bit, especially whenever I'm doing these ultras. I'm constantly shifting terrain, shifting weight around in my body, making sure my body itself is strong physically helps me not to be broken down as much by these races. So I had a lot of gym time, biking every now and then. And I want to start building in more swimming, because now that I've done 100, I kind of want to start dipping my toes more into that triathlon world after that first one that I did. Maybe one day do an Ironman, but who knows?
If you had to pick one, maybe it just wasn't your day, maybe the atmosphere was off, just didn't like the course, is there a race that you would say, I will absolutely not go back? This was my least favorite for one reason or the other. Is there any race that sticks out in your head as the one that you'd say, I probably wouldn't do that again?
I wouldn't say that there's a race I would never do again, because all the races I've done, they've all been really good experiences. Well, the worst race I ever had was the New Orleans ultramarathon 50 miler this past year. So this was no problem or no fault of the race directors or anybody out there. But I just got full body, full abdomen and back cramps at mile 20 of 50 miles. And they didn't go away till hours after the race was over. So I was having to essentially do quarter-mile repeats, because I could run about a quarter of a mile before the pain just got too bad. So I was doing quarter-mile repeats for 30 miles to finish, and that was definitely the worst race experience I've ever had in my life. It was a long day, but I got through it. But
you finished?
Yeah, I finished. Just up till recently, it was my slowest 50 miler, but that one up in Utah was a bit more mountainous, so that kind of won out.
Those peaks can slow you down.
Yeah. But yeah, so I definitely do the race again, because it's nobody's fault but my own, probably. But yeah, that's my worst race right there.
I would say at this stage of the game, I feel confident calling you a seasoned veteran. So if it's my first day, I just bought a pair of running shoes and I want to get started, what advice would you give me?
Don't let social media influence you to the point of thinking that you have to immediately be able to go out and do long distances, run a 6-minute mile, whatever pace you can do, however far you can go. Just constantly striving to be better, but don't be ashamed of where you start out at and where you come from. Because I still remember vividly to this day, the first time I ever ran 1.5 miles and the feeling I had then. And nowadays I'm like, 1.5 miles. Okay, yeah, I can go do that in a couple of seconds, a few minutes. But it's still important to accept that you're not going to be amazing right off the start, and don't let that discourage you and keep you away from it, because running is an amazing thing. And if you get put off because you see all these people online doing amazing things, and you're like, well, I can't do that, why bother? Then you're really going to miss out.
That's so good. When I started, I remember not even started running, but I was in 9th grade, way overweight. And so many of us share that same story, that we were out of shape and just didn't want to be this way anymore and decided to do something about it. But it took me over an hour to run a mile, well over an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't start where I'm at right now. It took a lot of sweat equity, a lot of time. So that's really good. Don't use other people as a measuring stick, because where they're at is not where you are. And it doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. It's like I tell my daughter all the time, run your race, run your pace. Don't worry about everybody else.
Absolutely.
Do you have any upcoming goals? Any big races you got in the crosshairs or?
So I only have one race currently that I'm signed up for, but that's the Louisiana Summer Nights Ultra over in Lafayette. That's a 10-hour overnight race.
Okay.
But as far as goals go, I'm trying to find another 100-miler to do at some point this year. There's a few that I have my eyes on. There's one out in, I want to say it's Arizona or whatever. It starts outside of Flagstaff and ends at the edge of the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Also, this is kind of painful, but I'm thinking about doing the Treadmill 100 this year in December. So 100 miles on the treadmill. It sounds absolutely horrible. I like to push myself outside my comfort zone and do things that I know are going to suck, because then everything else in life just seems easy. So if I can do things like that, then
there's a definite line of crazy. And then once you start to think about running 100 miles on a treadmill, you have crossed that line.
Yeah, I fully acknowledge that. I know it's not sane behavior to want to do that.
Not even close. Do you have any set of mantras or saying slogans that run through your head? Good times, bad times, middle of the night. Is there any mantra that sticks out to you that you would pass along or you tell yourself over and over?
Well, this one, it's more of whenever I'm in a race mindset, it's definitely one of the ones I go to the most often. Is something my mentor taught me, actually completely unrelated to running, but he taught it to me while he coached me different judging competitions through 4-H. But he said, why settle for second when first is available? And even if you aren't going for first, even if you aren't front of the pack runner, why settle for where you're at whenever there's a better position available? Keep pushing yourself to do better. And so if I'm out there, I'm slogging along, but I'm still moving forward. Hey, what? But I'm like, I don't feel like I can run. But I'm like, all right, we'll try running. Try to see what you can do. Because worst case scenario, all right, you can't do it. Keep going at the pace you're going. But if you can, keep pushing forward. Go faster, go harder. And yeah, why settle for second? Just keep going.
That's good. That's really good. What is your favorite distance to run?
So I'm going to have two different answers for that. So road races, my favorite distance is half marathon.
Okay.
I like it. You get out there, get it done nice and fast, and you still get to see a good bit of the town. I feel like a lot of marathons, you kind of end up spending a lot of time just meandering or doing out and back or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then as far as trails and ultras go, I would say 50-miler. That's probably the distance I've done the most. And it's because you're still out there for a whole day. You're still pushing hard. You're still seeing a lot of stuff. But unlike a 100-miler, you actually get to sleep in bed at night. That was the worst part about doing 100-milers, 2 a.m., stumbling through the woods.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd have to say, 50-milers, probably my favorite trail and ultra distance. Because I get to spend all day out there. It's getting towards dark when I finish. And I get to eat a big old fat meal and go to bed.
Yeah, the 50's enough to where it'll break you down. But like you said, you can at least go home, take a hot shower, get in bed, and recoup.
Yep, absolutely.
When you're not running and not doing anything running related, what can I find you doing?
Lately, I've been doing a lot of reading. So I do some of that. I'll play some video games every now and then. I used to be really big into video games and TV, but I struggle to sit still for that long. I'm probably ADHD, who knows? And really just reading and school for the most part. I'm in my clinical year at LSU for vet school, so I really don't have too much time outside of that. So what little free time I have is usually running or the gym.
I got you. Well, my friend, do you have any final words of wisdom for our audience?
I guess just kind of going back to what I was saying before, just get started and just don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just run your own race, be out there and just do what you can do and you won't regret it. Time will pass anyway. Might as well put that time towards improving yourself and doing something that you enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, Jacob, I appreciate the time, my friend, and good luck with all your upcoming endeavors and good luck finishing up vet school. And thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me on here. I enjoyed it.
What a great story. And I'm very intrigued by the Gushers. I don't think I could do it because of the texture thing, but adding a saw tablet to the Nerds, that I could do that. And I actually had Nerds the first time whenever we did Run the Rainbow, and that was absolutely amazing. Like I just had such a crazy time because I had never had Nerds during a race. And so I had that and was like, whoa, okay. we're doing this. And so I like combining the idea of the candy and the salt. I'm definitely going to incorporate that. And again, Jacob, all the advice that you gave and just hearing your story, again, sitting on your porch with your family, watching the triathlon to then participating in it. I can't imagine what that was like, riding by your house and being like, I used to sit there and dream of this moment. That had to be extraordinary. So great job with that. And your advice about why settle, just keep pushing, I think is great. And that's something I needed to hear is why stop? Just keep going. You've got this. So I really appreciate that. And I just giggled and smiled when I heard about your 100-miler and that it was a family friend for the race director. At those moments, I absolutely love moments like that because that story's gonna stick with you forever as it stuck with all of us. So just keep moving forward, guys, as Jacob says, and don't be afraid to try, even if you DNF. And I think, again, another crucial thing about what holds us back. And I really appreciated that and appreciated, Jacob, your story. It's incredible. Your heart is great. And I'm really looking forward to what you can do in the future. Really excited for you. Really excited when you become Dr. Jacob Vet. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So congratulations again. You're doing big things, my friend, and keep it up. Again, thank you to Magnolia Soap and Bath Company Mobile. We really appreciate you guys. Guys, make sure that when you go in that you tell them thank you. It's not a girly store. There's stuff for guys too. You will love it. We love them. All of our stuff comes from Magnolia Soap and Bath Company and really appreciate them and the hard work that they do and that they believe in the running community so much that they do. Guys, if you haven't checked out Dave's blog, you need to. It is so insightful. I really enjoy reading it. You guys, you're missing out on a good read if you haven't read it. He does such a great job putting them out weekly. From it's either going to be a sheer review or it's going to be something that he's thought of while out running. And I love that. I absolutely love his mindset. So make sure you read Dave's blog and give him a shout out. Let us know what you think about. And if there's a topic that you want him to cover, definitely reach out to Dave or reach out to Run Your Story. We'd love to hear back from you for that. As always, thank you to Garoo Tech Services for editing this podcast, for making sure our website is above par. He does such a great job. I love that man and I love his heart for the running community. And I do want to say this, he has been phenomenal with Ainsley's Angels. As we started this chapter, we knew we were going to have to get a new vehicle and we did. And we bought our SUV because we knew we were going to have to pull a trailer. And that is a true heart to have your spouse, your partner in life believe in you and say, I believe in this vision. I believe in what we're going to do. And it's been pretty epic. I think he's like a proud papa when he gets to show off chariots. So it's pretty special to watch. And I'm so thankful to have him in my corner. And that comes to our website too. We entrusted this to him. I said, I can't afford you, but here's my dream. And he's done nothing but deliver beyond that. And so if you are thinking about launching a website or you need a website or you don't even know where to start, we'll definitely reach out to Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services because one, he is caring and compassionate and he wants to make your dreams become a reality. He understands the importance of having a spot online. He totally gets that. And so definitely reach out to him, let him know. He would love to sit down and chat with you. He'd love to dream big with you. That's what he does. He's a dreamer and he does phenomenal. So truly grateful for Gilliard Tech Services. Again, thank you to Scott and Stefan for all that you guys do. You guys are absolutely amazing and I'm eternally grateful for you guys because we are booked and it's just gonna keep going. And it's because of these two guys who aren't afraid to ask people to be on this podcast. And so I'm very grateful for them and for their heart for this community. And guys, I can only say there are some really big things happening with Run Your Story and I'm so excited to be a part of it and so excited to share the stories and all the big announcements that are coming. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you follow us on social media. Most importantly, make sure that you like, share, comment about a story. We love getting the messages, but make sure on social media that you're sharing them too, because that's how the stories get out there. And we have a team at Run Your Story that they just want to see this podcast grow beyond measure. They're dreaming bigger than I could have ever dreamed. And so I'm eternally grateful for them. They do such a great job and their hearts for this is just extraordinary. So with that being said, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for believing in this community. Thank you to our Patreon family members for making all of this happen. We are what we are because of you. So thank you so much for that. And until next time, guys, go run your story because every story needs to be heard.